Today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a diagonal block tissue box cover. So this is the one I did the other day, and it's just a 2-color. And this one is a lot of fun. It's a little tricky to put together, so that's what I'm going to demonstrate today. So now I'm working on the 3-color version, which is identical, just adding a 3rd color. So you have 2 panels like this, 2 panels like this, and then the top. So you'll construct them alternating, and that's done so that all the sides match up, and it looks really cool. So the tricky part of this is that we want to color match the thread. So I've already attached this one, and now we're going to attach the second piece. So I always start from the top, and you want to just tuck it right underneath there. And you're going to come out the top corner, and this is the whip stitch. So the first stitch is straight across, and all the ones in the middle are on the diagonal. And then there's 2 choices on how to end, which I'll get to in a second. So one straight across, and now diagonal. And I have a video on how to get started if you'd like to watch one about how to actually make the panels. But for this video, I just want to show what makes this one different. Now this box lends itself so that each piece of yarn makes 3 squares. It seems to work better than 4, which is what I typically do. But sometimes you'll end up, so for some of these, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So you basically end up with a lot of small bits of yarn, as you can see on the table here, and I use those to then connect the pieces. Obviously some will be too small, but for the most part, it works out great. Okay, now here are the 2 choices. And I vacillate between, sometimes I do it one way, sometimes I do it another way. What I'm currently doing is I start and stop each color with a straight across stitch. Now you may find that that is just too many stitches, and you think it looks better doing it the other way, which instead of ending it with a straight across, you end it right here, and then you move on to the pink color. But I find that I like the way it looks when you have the 2 straight across right next to each other. Now you may say that looks bulky, in which case you can do the other way, just see whichever feels right to you. So this is what I was talking about, the piece of yarn that you're left with. And this is a great size to do the attaching. No matter which you choose, when you get down to the end, you're definitely going to do a straight across stitch. Okay, so we're going to come right behind again. Now, no matter which you've chosen, after you do the straight across stitch, you want to get the next one just to the right. You know, you don't want to come from the side, you don't want to come through, you want to get right to the right of the stitch you just did. And you can kind of see some blue peeking out there, but when we go ahead and tighten this, it goes away. So again, this is a little, I won't say tricky, it's more time consuming, but it really needs to be done. It would look very odd if you just had a whole color going across the top and the sides. So again, if you were going to do it the other way, when you got to right here, you would stop with the pink and then start with the ivory with a straight across. Okay. Now we're about to go around the whole corner. So I have cut an ivory piece that is a little longer so that I can just go right around it and start on the next side. Okay, so when we get to the end, going to do one straight across, then we're going to turn it and start on the side. So same thing, the first straight across, and then add a diagonal. I'm going to do the same thing the whole way down until we get to the bottom. One more note, this is a little awkward to get the thread back behind to tie it off. You basically, and you can see how I'm holding it here on the outside, and then I'm going to take this and take it right through the back. Now when you get to the point where you're putting on the last side, I don't know that it makes that big of a difference, but I find, so once I have all other three attached and I'm just doing this last one, I go like this. So I don't do all of this and then all of this, especially since it's different color thread and you're stopping anyway. I like to just go down both sides at once. It gives you a little more room to maneuver. Okay, so now we've reached the bottom. With most of the tissue box covers, the final step I do is the finishing around the bottom. But with this design, I do it as I go. So that means whenever I attach a corner like we're doing right now, I go ahead and overcast the bottom. I think it makes sense to do it while you're using this thread. Okay, so we're going to do our diagonal stitches. And then the one straight across. And now we'll do the corner. Now you can work left to right, right to left, it doesn't matter. I used to always go right to left, but now I try and make it the same as this. So I'll go left to right. So we're just gonna start right there. And you're just gonna go through each hole. It doesn't matter on which side of this string you go. And then when I get to the corner, I like to put a few extra. So we're gonna go one straight across and then one that just sort of wraps right around there. So there will be two in this one in the last hole. Okay. I'm going to go over here, and I typically will tuck this one down in between. Okay, so this next one is going to go around the little corner, and you kind of have to place it. Just so that little plastic nub is covered. And I'm going to do one more in that same hole. And you can do these sections right now, or you can wait till it's all done. I typically go ahead and do them as I can. Okay, we're going right down through there. And you'll want to place this one too, just so that it doesn't land on top of the others. Okay, so when you go to do the white, you're going to come right up through this same hole, so they will share, just like when we connect. The colors will all share the one hole. The only other thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to do, so when I finish a box, I always go and add a few, typically 2, sometimes 3 stitches to the corners. And that just covers the little plastic. You can see this, well, it's sort of hard to see with the ivory, but I just like to cover this a little bit. Now with this one, it was easy because they're all the same color. So I come up through this one and I go and do them all, and then I come back here and tie these 2 in a knot. Easy peasy. With this one, you can't really do that because they're different colors. So what I should have done is when I finish this, I should have then taken this thread and come right here and done 2, and then take the thread down here through its same color and cut off the excess. So now it's going to be a little more difficult to do that because I have to get that thread in there to begin with, which is not that hard because the rest of the box isn't made. But when I do these other corners, I'll demonstrate what I do. Okay, so we're going to come out right there, the top hole on one of the bottom parts. We're going to go from this hole to this hole. And again, I typically just do 2, and you don't want to pull it fast. You need to place it so that it covers that little corner. So that was 1. Here's the second. Again, it's not the best color to show you with the ivory. That'll really stand out on the navy. Okay, place it like that. And then I'm just going to come right down here and cut off the excess. So again, if I was doing a 3-color, with a 2-color you can do it as the last step. But with the 3-color, since it's different colors in the corners, you want to do it as you go. And that is the diagonal block box. If you have any questions, please send me an email.